My child, do not click away from this moment. What you are about to hear was not placed in front of you by accident, and if you ignore it now, you may keep walking deeper into the very exhaustion, confusion, and spiritual distance that has been quietly draining your soul. I need you to stay with me carefully because there are things happening inside your heart that you can no longer afford to overlook. You have delayed certain decisions for too long. You have silenced conviction too many times while hoping another opportunity would always come later. But this message is your warning and your invitation at the same time. So stay here until the very end. Let every word reach the places inside you that distractions have been covering for far too long. Because before this message is over, you are going to recognize why your spirit has felt restless, why your peace has been slipping away, and why this may be your last chance to finally come home to me fully. I know how quickly your mind moves from one thing to another lately. You keep yourself busy because silence has started to feel uncomfortable, and deep inside you already know why. There are thoughts you have been avoiding, feelings you keep pushing down, and questions about your life that keep returning when everything around you finally becomes quiet. You tried distracting yourself from that heaviness, but it followed you anyway. That is why I brought you here right now. This moment was not random to me. You may think you simply came across these words while passing time, but I knew this day would come long before you reached it. I saw the pressure building inside you. I saw how tired your heart has become from carrying things you never talk about openly. People around you may only see the version of you that keeps functioning, keeps smiling, keeps moving forward, but I see beyond that surface. I see how emotionally exhausted you feel when no one else is around. I see how often you question whether your life is drifting farther away from the peace you hoped you would someday find. You have spent so much time trying to manage everything on your own that you forgot what it feels like to truly rest inside your soul. Even when you try to relax, your mind keeps running. Even when good things happen, part of you still feels unsettled. You keep telling yourself things will eventually get better once certain problems disappear, but the emptiness inside you has deeper roots than external stress. You already sense that. The truth is, your spirit has been longing for me while your attention stayed fixed on everything else. I am not speaking to you with anger. I am speaking because I love you too deeply to stay silent while you slowly lose yourself beneath exhaustion, disappointment, and distraction. There were moments recently when you felt something pulling at your heart unexpectedly. You brushed it aside and kept going because you did not know how to slow down long enough to face what was happening inside you. But I was there in every one of those moments, trying to reach you gently before your heart became even more distant from peace. You do not need to pretend with me. I already know where you feel broken, confused, afraid, and emotionally drained. And still, I came close to you today. That alone should tell you how much you matter to me. So breathe for a moment, my child. Let the noise around you settle. Do not rush past this feeling inside your chest. I arranged this moment because your soul needed it more than you realize. I need you to understand something that you have been avoiding for a long time. Your life is not standing still, even during seasons when everything feels repetitive and numb. Time keeps moving quietly around you while your heart keeps postponing the deeper things you know you need to face. You keep saying to yourself that you will deal with certain wounds later, that you will reconnect with me later, that you will slow down and change direction once life becomes easier to manage. But listen to me carefully now. You do not realize how quickly years can disappear while your soul slowly drifts farther away from peace. I say this to you with tenderness because I know how overwhelmed you have felt lately. Some days you wake up already emotionally tired before the day even begins. You carry responsibilities, pressures, disappointments, and hidden fears that no one fully understands. Because of that, you started surviving instead of truly living. You stopped checking the condition of your spirit because you became consumed with simply making it through another day. Yet deep inside, you know something has been missing for a long time. I have watched you try to fill that emptiness with distractions that only quiet the ache temporarily. You reached for noise because silence started exposing things inside you that felt painful to acknowledge. But your heart was never designed to live disconnected from me. That distance is why even your happiest moments sometimes still feel incomplete. That unsettled feeling inside you is not weakness. It is your soul trying to tell you that it can't keep running on emotional exhaustion forever. So stop for a moment and listen to me. Do not brush this aside again. Do not convince yourself that this message can wait until another season of your life. Open your heart now while you still feel my voice reaching for you. There are things unfolding around your life that you cannot fully see yet. Some doors are beginning to close because certain seasons cannot last forever. Some relationships, habits, and patterns are draining life out of you quietly while you keep tolerating them out of fear, comfort, or emotional numbness. I am calling you to wake up before more time slips through your hands. Come closer to me honestly instead of pretending everything is fine. Let me show you where your heart has become tired. Let me remove the weight you keep carrying in secret. You do not need to have every answer before you return to me. You only need willingness. Give me that small opening in your heart, and I will meet you there. Your future is too important for you to remain spiritually asleep while life keeps moving forward around you. Stay close to me now. Do not turn away from this moment. My child, one of the quietest lies that settled into your heart was the belief that you could always come back to me later. You never planned to drift this far emotionally. It happened slowly while life became busier, heavier, and more complicated than you expected. At first it seemed harmless to ignore small convictions inside you. You push away certain thoughts, delayed difficult conversations with yourself, and kept postponing the changes you knew needed to happen. Over time, that distance inside your spirit became familiar enough that you stopped noticing how disconnected you truly felt. I watched you carry this silent assumption that another opportunity would always come eventually. You told yourself there would be a better season to heal, a calmer season to surrender, a future version of yourself that would finally slow down and seek me wholeheartedly. But your heart has grown tired waiting for a later that never fully arrives. You already feel that exhaustion. It follows you into quiet moments when distractions finally fade and your thoughts become impossible to outrun. I do not say this to condemn you. I am speaking because I love you enough to interrupt the direction your life has been moving. There are parts of your soul that have been neglected for too long. You learned how to function while carrying hidden emptiness, but functioning is not the same as living in peace. I never created you merely to survive your days while your spirit slowly loses its light. Look honestly at what has been happening inside you lately. Your patience has become thinner. Your joy disappears quickly. Certain fears grip your thoughts more easily than before. You feel emotionally restless even during moments that should bring comfort. Those are not random feelings. Your soul has been trying to get your attention for a long time. Come closer to me now instead of waiting for another warning sign. Lay down the pressure of pretending you are okay. Stop carrying guilt that I already want to heal. Stop running toward distractions every time your heart begins asking deeper questions. Sit with me honestly. Let me into the places inside you that nobody else sees. You do not need polished words or perfect behavior to come back to me. You only need honesty. I am still here, my child. Even after every delay, every moment of avoidance, every season of distance, I am still reaching for you. But do not keep assuming your heart can endlessly ignore what it already knows is true. Some moments in life are crossroads, and this is one of them. Choose to listen while your spirit is still soft enough to respond. My child, do not misunderstand why I am speaking to you this way. I am not trying to frighten you or crush your spirit with guilt. If fear were my goal, I would have stopped pursuing you long ago and left you alone with the consequences of your choices. But I stayed near you even during the moments when you ignored me most. I stayed close while you kept pretending certain wounds were not affecting you. I stayed present while you filled your days with noise because silence made your heart uncomfortable. That is not rejection. That is mercy following you patiently through every season you thought you had already ruined. You need to hear this clearly now. The fact that you still feel conviction inside your heart is evidence that I have not abandoned you. The numbness you fear is not fully taken over because my voice is still reaching you underneath the exhaustion, underneath the distractions, underneath the disappointment you carry. Do not run from that feeling. Sit with it honestly. Let it soften you instead of hardening you further. I know there are parts of your life you avoid thinking about too deeply. Certain habits, certain compromises, certain emotional wounds you buried because facing them felt overwhelming. You convinced yourself that ignoring those areas would somehow make them disappear over time. But hidden pain does not heal through avoidance. It quietly spreads into other parts of your life until even your joy begins feeling heavy. You already sense that happening inside you. Things that once excited you now leave you emotionally flat. Conversations feel emptier. Your mind rarely rests. Even when you laugh, part of your heart still feels tired. Come closer to me instead of pulling farther away. Stop assuming I only want the polished version of you. Bring me the confused version. Bring me the disappointed version. Bring me the version of you that feels spiritually exhausted and emotionally scattered. I can work with honesty. I cannot heal the mask you keep showing everyone else. You keep thinking you need to fix yourself before fully returning to me, but that pressure has only kept you trapped longer. Let that go now. Open your heart without rehearsing perfect words first. Speak to me plainly. Sit quietly with me tonight. Turn down the noise for a little while and allow your soul to breathe again. You do not realize how badly your heart needs genuine peace instead of temporary escape. I am reaching for you because your life still matters deeply to me. Your future is not finished. Your mistakes are not the end of your story. But do not ignore this invitation again. Mercy is standing at the door of your heart right now, asking you to let me back into the places where fear, shame, and exhaustion have been quietly taking over. My child, this is why I brought you to this message before it became too late for your heart to fully awaken. Even now, I am raising voices across the earth to carry my mercy into weary homes, broken minds, and exhausted souls who are one step away from giving up. Every seed you sow into this mission becomes oil for lamps that are still burning in dark places. And I tell you now, cast your bread upon the waters, for after many days you will find it again. I see those of you who feel my spirit urging you to help spread this word farther than your own life can reach. Do not ignore that stirring inside you, because this is not merely support for a channel. This is participation in a rescue assignment for souls standing at the edge of despair. The hand that gives in obedience will not return empty, for I am able to multiply what you release and cover your house with peace, provision, and favor in difficult seasons. If this message has reached your heart, then respond without delay through super thanks, membership, with a PayPal link waiting for you in the video description. Act now, my child, and become part of the mercy I am pouring out before many hearts grow colder. My child, there were nights when you felt completely alone emotionally, even while surrounded by people who thought you were doing fine. You became skilled at hiding your inner struggles because you did not want to burden anyone with the weight you carried. You smiled during conversations while your thoughts quietly battled exhaustion underneath the surface. You kept showing up for responsibilities while parts of your heart were running dangerously low on hope. But I saw every bit of it. Nothing about your pain escaped my attention. I saw the nights when sleep would not come easily because your mind refused to slow down. I saw you replay conversations, regrets, disappointments, and fears while lying in silence, wondering how life became this emotionally heavy. Sometimes you blamed yourself for feeling this way because you thought you should be stronger by now. You compared yourself to other people who seemed happier, more stable, more certain about their future. Meanwhile, you quietly questioned whether something inside you was slowly breaking. Come here for a moment and listen to me carefully. You are not weak because you became tired. You are not failing because you reached a point where your heart could no longer carry everything quietly without needing help. You were never created to survive endless pressure while remaining emotionally untouched. Even now, you are carrying grief from things you rarely admit hurt you this deeply. Some disappointments changed you more than you realize. Certain betrayals made it harder for you to trust. Certain unanswered prayers made you wonder if I was truly listening. But I was there through all of it. I was there when tears filled your eyes after everyone else had gone home. I was there during moments when you stared at the ceiling trying to calm thoughts you could not control. I stayed beside you while you questioned your worth, your purpose, and your future. You may have felt abandoned emotionally, but you were never abandoned spiritually. My presence never left your life, even during seasons when you stopped feeling close to me. Now stop carrying this pain alone. Stop acting as though you must hold yourself together every minute of every day. Come speak honestly with me instead of hiding behind distractions and emotional walls. Let me into the places inside you that still ache. Let me heal the wounds you covered with busyness, pride, or silence. Your heart cannot continue surviving on temporary comfort while deeper healing keeps getting delayed. You do not need to impress me to receive my love. You only need to stop running from the truth of what your soul has been feeling. Sit with me now. Breathe slowly. Lay your burdens down one by one. I am still here, my child, and I have not grown tired of loving you through any of this. You have become so used to carrying emotional weight that you hardly notice how heavy your heart feels anymore. You wake up already thinking about responsibilities, unfinished problems, conversations you are avoiding, and worries about the future. Even during moments that should feel peaceful, part of your mind stays tense, waiting for the next disappointment or the next thing that might go wrong. You have trained yourself to keep functioning while quietly exhausted inside, and over time you started believing that this constant pressure was simply normal life. But listen to me carefully now. I never created you to live with your soul constantly stretched thin like this. You have been carrying pain that you rarely speak about honestly. Some of it comes from disappointment. Some of it comes from fear about the future. Some of it comes from relationships that slowly drained your confidence and peace without you realizing how deeply they affected you. You kept telling yourself to stay strong, keep moving, keep pushing forward. Yet every time you ignored your inner exhaustion, another layer of heaviness settled over your spirit. Now even simple moments feel difficult because your heart has been overloaded for too long. Come sit with me for a moment instead of running back toward distractions. Turn down the noise around you. Put aside the pressure to appear okay. Let your thoughts slow down enough for your soul to breathe again. You do not need to oppress me with strength you no longer have. I already know where you feel weak. I already know the thoughts that keep circling through your mind late at night. I know how tired you are of pretending you can carry everything alone. You have spent so much energy protecting everyone else emotionally while quietly neglecting your own heart. You showed compassion to people who never realized how deeply you were struggling yourself. You gave time, attention, patience, and love while your own spirit became emptier in the process. That is one reason you feel emotionally worn down now. You kept pouring from places inside you that desperately needed healing too. So stop pushing yourself beyond what your heart can sustain. Bring your burdens to me honestly instead of burying them beneath busyness. Let me teach you how to rest again. Let me remove the pressure you were never meant to carry by yourself. Your soul cannot heal while you keep refusing to slow down long enough to acknowledge what is hurting inside you. I am not disappointed in you because you became tired. I am calling you closer because I want to restore the peace your heart has been missing for far too long. My child, there are moments in your life that still confuse you because you never understood why certain plans collapsed, why certain relationships ended, or why certain doors suddenly closed when you were convinced they would lead somewhere good. You carried disappointment from those seasons for a long time. In some cases, you even questioned whether I was working against you instead of helping you. But there are things I protected you from that you still cannot fully see. You often judge your life based only on what happened in front of you. But I see beyond what your eyes can understand. I saw the hidden consequences attached to certain choices you almost made. I saw the emotional damage waiting behind some relationships you begged me to preserve. I saw where certain paths would eventually lead if I allowed you to continue without interruption. Some closed doors were not punishment. They were rescue. Some delays were not rejection. They were protection wrapped inside disappointment. I know that was difficult for you to accept at the time. You cried over things that fell apart. You replayed conversations in your mind, wondering what you could have done differently to keep people from leaving you or opportunities from disappearing. You blamed yourself for outcomes that were never fully your fault. Meanwhile, I was quietly shielding you from pain that would have reached far deeper if I had allowed everything you wanted to remain in your life. Trust me now when I tell you this. Not every loss was truly a loss. There are people you wanted desperately to hold on to who would have slowly destroyed your peace. There were environments that looked exciting outwardly but would have emptied your spirit over time. There were moments when your emotions begged for one direction while my wisdom guided you somewhere safer, even if it hurt temporarily. The tension frustrated you because you could not yet see the larger picture unfolding around your future. So release the bitterness you still carry towards certain disappointments. Stop reopening old wounds trying to understand every detail perfectly. Bring those unanswered questions to me instead. Let me heal the resentment that formed when life unfolded differently than you expected. Your heart cannot fully move forward while part of you remains trapped inside old disappointments that were actually protecting your future. Come closer now and trust my perspective even when you do not fully understand my timing. Let go of the need to control every outcome. Let me guide you without constantly resisting every closed door that hurts your feelings in the moment. I see farther than you do, my child. And even during seasons that felt painful, my hand never stopped protecting you. My child, I know how frustrated you became during seasons when nothing seemed to move forward for you. You prayed for opportunities that never opened. You waited for answers that seemed painfully slow. You watched other people move ahead while your own life felt stuck in the same exhausting cycle. There were moments when disappointment settled so deeply into your heart that you started wondering whether I had forgotten you completely. You tried to stay hopeful, but quietly, bitterness began growing inside you because the waiting felt endless. But I need you to understand something now that you could not fully see back then. Some delays in your life were not working against you. They were standing between you and destruction you never recognized at the time. You often begged me to hurry while I was trying to protect parts of your future that mattered more than your temporary emotions. There were situations you desperately wanted to enter that would have drained your peace completely. Some opportunities looked beautiful on the surface, but carried hidden consequences that would have left you emotionally shattered later. You judged certain closed doors as failures while heaven saw them as protection. Come closer and let me change the way you view those painful seasons. Stop replaying old disappointments as proof that I abandoned you. Instead, begin asking yourself what pain you may have been spared from without realizing it. You do not see every trap hidden beneath appearances. You do not always recognize the danger behind what feels exciting in the moment. But I see all of it clearly. I watched you become angry at delays that were quietly preserving your future. I heard the questions you asked when prayers seemed unanswered. I saw how comparison slowly poisoned your peace while you watched other people receive things you thought should already belong to you. But your story was never meant to unfold according to someone else's timing. So release your grip on the resentment you still carry toward seasons that moved slower than you wanted. Stop treating every delay as evidence that your life is falling apart. Sit with me and allow your perspective to heal. Some of the greatest mercies in your life arrived disguised as interruptions, setbacks, and waiting seasons you did not understand. Trust me enough to believe that I was still guiding you even when your plans collapsed unexpectedly. Let me teach your heart patience without bitterness. Let me rebuild your trust where disappointment made you emotionally guarded. Your future still holds purpose, my child, but you cannot move into it while remaining chained to anger over timing you never fully understood. My child, some of the delays you resented were preparing you for this very moment, because I knew there would come a time when your obedience could help pull others out of darkness before it became too late for them. I'm calling people right now to become sowers in a season where spiritual famine is spreading quietly across many hearts. Every gift placed into this work becomes like water poured into dry ground, and I have said, whoever refreshes others will themselves be refreshed. There are souls listening tonight who feel abandoned, exhausted, and spiritually numb, yet this message is becoming the interruption that keeps them alive emotionally and spiritually. Do not treat the prompting to give as something small or casual, because heaven notices every act of obedience connected to my word. I will bless the hands that release generously, and I will breathe unexpected favor, protection, and open doors over those who honor what I am doing here. If your spirit feels stirred, then move now through Super Thanks membership with a PayPal link in the video description, because your seed is helping carry light into places where darkness has been growing for far too long. Do not delay the assignment I am placing before you today. My child, the enemy did not need to destroy your life all at once to create distance between us. Most of the separation happened quietly through distractions that slowly consumed your attention little by little. You became so mentally overwhelmed, emotionally busy, and constantly occupied that your soul stopped noticing how far your heart was drifting from genuine peace. It did not happen in one dramatic moment. It happened gradually while your focus stayed fixed on surviving, performing, worrying, and escaping. I watched you fill your days with constant noise because silence started feeling uncomfortable. The moment your thoughts became too heavy, you reached for distractions to avoid facing what was happening inside you. You scrolled endlessly. You overworked yourself. You buried your mind in entertainment, conversations, responsibilities, and temporary comforts because sitting still with your soul felt too painful. But distraction never healed your heart. It only delayed the moment you would finally need to confront what was hurting beneath the surface. Come here for a moment and be honest with yourself. How long has it been since your heart truly felt calm? How long has it been since you sat quietly without needing noise to drown out your thoughts? Your spirit has been exhausted for a long time, but distractions kept masking the depth of it. Even now, you often feel emotionally scattered because your inner life has been pulled in too many directions for too long. I am not asking you to carry shame about this. I am asking you to wake up before distraction completely numbs the deeper parts of your heart. Slow down and pay attention to what your soul has been trying to tell you. There are wounds inside you that need healing, not avoidance. There are fears that need surrender, not endless distraction. There are places inside your heart where my peace wants to enter if you would finally stop running long enough to let me near. Turn away from the habits that constantly pull your attention away from what truly matters. Create space for silence again. Sit with me without rushing. Speak honestly instead of pretending you are fine. Let your soul breathe without immediately reaching for another distraction every time discomfort appears. You do not need more noise, my child. You need restoration. You need clarity. You need peace that reaches deeper than temporary escape. And I am still here waiting for you to return fully instead of living emotionally scattered between 1,000 distractions that leave your heart emptier at the end of the day. My child, there is a reason you still feel restless even after chasing things you thought would finally make you feel complete. You kept hoping that if you stayed busy enough, achieved enough, earned enough attention, or surrounded yourself with enough distractions, the emptiness inside you would eventually disappear. For a little while, some of those things helped you forget what you were carrying. They gave temporary relief. They filled moments. They occupied your mind. But they never reached the deeper ache inside your soul. You already know this is true because the quiet always returned. There were moments when you laughed with people and still felt disconnected afterward. There were achievements you thought would change everything emotionally, yet once the excitement faded, your heart still felt unsatisfied. You reached for entertainment, relationships, endless scrolling, constant noise, and endless motion because slowing down forced you to feel what had been hidden underneath for too long. But temporary comfort cannot heal spiritual exhaustion. It only delays the moment you finally admit that your soul has been starving for something deeper. Come closer and listen carefully now. I am not condemning you for trying to cope with your pain. I understand why you searched for comfort in places that felt easier to reach than vulnerability with me. You were hurting. You were tired. You wanted relief. But some of the things you leaned on slowly became chains around your heart instead of healing for your spirit. What began as distraction eventually became dependency. What once seemed harmless slowly drained your peace without you realizing how much it was shaping your inner life. I watched your heart grow emptier while your life grew noisier. That is why I am asking you now to stop feeding your soul things that cannot truly sustain it. Step away from the endless cycle of temporary escapes. Sit quietly with me again. Open the places inside you that you have kept locked behind entertainment, busyness, and emotional avoidance. Let me show you that the peace you are searching for cannot be purchased, performed, or distracted into existence. You do not need another temporary high followed by emotional emptiness afterward. You need restoration deep inside your spirit. You need truth instead of numbness. You need real peace instead of short-lived relief that disappears the moment life becomes difficult again. So come back to me honestly. Bring your cravings, your loneliness, your disappointments, and your fears into my presence instead of hiding them behind distractions. Let me teach your heart how to feel alive again without depending on things that leave you emptier afterward. You were created for deeper peace than this world can offer you, my child, and your soul already knows it. My child, there are fears living quietly inside your heart that you rarely speak about honestly, even to the people closest to you. You became so accustomed to hiding your inner struggles that eventually you started pretending they were not affecting you anymore. But I see how certain thoughts still follow you late at night. I know how often your mind drifts toward worst-case scenarios. I hear the silent questions you carry about your future, your worth, your purpose, and whether things will ever truly get better for you. You try to appear calm on the outside while fear slowly drains your peace underneath. Sometimes you fear that your life is falling behind while everyone else seems to move forward. Sometimes you fear rejection so deeply that you avoid vulnerability altogether. Sometimes you fear failure so much that you hesitate to fully pursue what is inside your heart. And there are moments when you quietly fear that you may never feel emotionally whole again after everything you have been through. You rarely say those things aloud because part of you worries that admitting them would somehow make them more real. But hiding fear does not weaken it. Silence often feeds it. Come sit with me honestly instead of battling these thoughts alone inside your mind. Stop pretending you are unaffected while anxiety quietly shapes your decisions, your relationships, and the way you see yourself. Bring your fears into the light with me. Speak them honestly instead of burying them beneath distractions and fake calmness. I already know what you are afraid of, my child. You do not need to hide it from me. I saw how fear entered your heart through disappointment, betrayal, loss, and unanswered prayers. Some fears formed because life wounded you in places you never fully healed from. Others grew slowly through comparison, exhaustion, and emotional isolation. But hear me clearly now. Fear was never meant to become the voice guiding your future. You cannot build a peaceful life while constantly listening to thoughts that convince you disaster is always waiting around the corner. So stop surrendering your peace to fear-filled thinking. Pause when your mind starts spiraling. Breathe slowly and bring those thoughts to me instead of carrying them alone. Let me steady your heart before fear hardens into hopelessness. You are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. And your future is not doomed simply because your emotions feel heavy right now. Walk with me through these fears instead of hiding from them. Let me rebuild trust inside the places where anxiety hath been ruling your thoughts for too long. I want your heart free again, my child, not trapped inside endless worry that steals your peace one thought at a time. My child, one of the heaviest things weighing down your spirit right now is guilt that you never truly released. Some of it comes from mistakes you made. Some of it comes from words you wish you could take back. Some of it formed during moments when you failed yourself, disappointed others, or walked away from things you knew were right for you. Even after time passed, those memories stayed alive inside your mind. You kept revisiting them quietly, almost punishing yourself over and over as though carrying shame long enough could somehow rewrite the past. But listen to me carefully now. I never asked you to live chained to guilt forever. You have spent too much time defining yourself by your lowest moments instead of allowing me to heal you properly. Every time you started moving forward emotionally, those old thoughts returned to remind you of who you used to be. They whispered that you were unworthy, inconsistent, damaged, or too far gone to truly change. Over time, you started believing those voices more than you believed my love for you. That is why your heart feels so tired sometimes. Guilt drains life out of the soul little by little until even hope starts feeling difficult to hold on to. Come closer now and stop hiding behind shame. Stop speaking to yourself with cruelty every time your past crosses your mind. You are not the sum of your worst decisions. You are not permanently disqualified because you struggled, failed, or lost your way during painful seasons of your life. I already knew every mistake you would make long before you ever made it, and still I chose to stay near you. Let that truth sink into your heart for a moment. You keep trying to carry guilt as if it proves you care deeply enough about what happened, but endless shame does not heal the soul. Honest surrender does. Bring your regrets to me openly instead of replaying them alone inside your head. Let me into the places where self-hatred quietly took root. Speak honestly with me tonight. Stop pretending your heart is unaffected by things you still have not forgiven yourself for. I am inviting you now to release what you were never meant to carry forever. Lay it down. Bring me the memories that still make your chest tighten with regret. Bring me the failures you keep using against yourself. I can heal what you stop hiding. I can restore what shame convinced you was ruined permanently. Your story is not over, my child. Do not let guilt keep speaking louder than my mercy. Walk toward me honestly now, and let your soul breathe again without chains wrapped around your heart. My child, I did not bring you this far to leave you trapped in guilt, and I am using this message to loosen chains from many hearts before hopelessness consumes them completely. There are people listening right now who secretly believe they are too broken to return to me, yet my voice is still reaching for them through this ministry. Every act of giving becomes a seed planted into wounded soil, and I promise you the harvest will reach farther than your eyes can presently see. Did I not say, give, and it will be given back to you? Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. I am inviting those whose hearts burn with compassion to help keep this river of mercy flowing to the weary, the ashamed, and the spiritually exhausted. Your generosity is not forgotten in heaven, and I will honor those who honor the work of bringing healing truth to others. If you feel my spirit moving you now, then respond immediately through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the video description. Sow your seed now, my child, and help carry my mercy to those still drowning in silent shame. My child, one of the most dangerous traps surrounding your life has been the belief that you could always wait a little longer before truly changing direction. The enemy rarely tells people to abandon me completely all at once. Instead, he whispers softer lies that sound harmless at first. He tells you there is still plenty of time. He convinces you that tomorrow will be a better moment to deal with your soul, your habits, your healing, and your relationship with me. Little by little, delay becomes a lifestyle, and eventually your heart grows tired from postponing the very things it desperately needs. You did not notice how deeply this mindset affected you because it happened gradually. You kept delaying conversations with yourself that felt uncomfortable. You kept postponing surrender because part of you wanted to hold on to certain distractions, habits, or emotional walls a little longer. You kept assuming there would always be another opportunity later to reconnect deeply with me once life became calmer, easier, or less painful. But life never fully slowed down the way you expected it to. Meanwhile, your soul kept growing more exhausted. I watched you become emotionally numb in places where passion and peace once lived naturally. Things that used to move your heart barely affected you anymore. You became skilled at surviving disconnected from yourself spiritually while telling yourself it was only temporary. But temporary distance slowly became normal, and now your heart feels the consequences of carrying that separation for too long. So stop delaying what your spirit already knows needs attention. Stop waiting for perfect circumstances before you come closer to me honestly. Open your heart now while conviction is still alive inside you. Do not brush aside these moments when your soul feels stirred. Those moments matter more than you realize. They are invitations pulling you back toward life before your heart becomes even more hardened by exhaustion and distraction. Come sit with me instead of immediately running back toward noise. Turn away from habits that keep numbing your spirit. Speak truthfully with me about where your life has drifted emotionally. I am not asking you to become perfect overnight. I'm asking you to stop pretending endless delay carries no consequences for your soul. Your future is too important to spend another season spiritually asleep while life keeps moving forward around you. Time matters, my child. Your heart matters. And this moment matters far more than you understand right now. My child, You did not wake up one morning intending to feel spiritually distant from me. You did not make one sudden decision to let your heart grow tired, distracted, or emotionally disconnected. It happened quietly over time through small compromises, postponed moments, and habits that slowly pulled your attention away from what mattered most. At first, you barely noticed it. Life became busy. Your responsibilities increased. Your emotional burdens grew heavier. Little by little, your inner life became neglected while your outer life kept demanding more from you. That is how distance often begins. You stopped making space for stillness because your mind felt too crowded already. You stopped listening carefully to conviction because certain truths felt uncomfortable to face. You allowed distractions to fill spaces that once belonged to reflection, peace, and closeness with me. None of it felt dangerous in the beginning. That is why it was so easy to continue. But over time, your spirit became weaker while your exhaustion became stronger. Now you feel the effects of that separation in ways you struggle to explain. Your patience disappears faster. Your joy feels inconsistent. Your mind constantly races. Certain fears grip you more deeply than before. Even moments of rest feel restless because your soul has been carrying distance from me longer than you realize. You kept functioning outwardly while inwardly becoming emotionally drained and spiritually null. Come here now and stop pretending your heart is unaffected by this. Sit with me honestly for a moment. Turn away from the endless noise and listen carefully to what your soul has been trying to say. You miss peace. You miss clarity. You miss feeling emotionally alive instead of constantly overwhelmed and disconnected inside. Your spirit was never designed to survive on distractions alone. I am not speaking to you with condemnation. I am calling you back before this distance hardens further into numbness. Open your heart again. Return to small moments of honesty with me instead of continuing to avoid what needs healing inside you. Put down the mask you wear for everyone else. Bring me the tired version of you, the confused version of you, the emotionally overwhelmed version of you. I already see all of it anyway. Do not underestimate how quickly small compromises shape the direction of a life. But also do not underestimate how powerfully one honest moment of surrender can begin changing your heart again. Come closer now while your spirit still responds to my voice. Do not drift farther into emotional exhaustion pretending you are still okay. Let me restore what distractions slowly stole from you over time. My child, deep inside you already know there are things in your life that cannot continue the way they have been. You feel it during quiet moments when your thoughts become honest. You sense it when conviction rises unexpectedly in your chest. There are habits exhausting your spirit, relationships draining your peace, and emotional wounds you keep postponing instead of healing. Yet every time your heart begins facing those truths, fear quickly tells you to wait a little longer before making changes. But listen to me carefully now. Delay has already cost you more peace than you realize. You have spent too much time negotiating with things that quietly weaken your soul. You kept hoping certain struggles would disappear on their own, while avoiding the deeper healing required to truly change. You postponed difficult decisions because you feared discomfort, conflict, loneliness, or uncertainty. Yet avoiding pain temporarily often created deeper pain later. Your heart already knows this. That is why exhaustion keeps following you no matter how hard you try to distract yourself from it. So stop running from what needs attention inside your life. Stop silencing conviction every time it rises within you. Sit honestly with the truth instead of immediately reaching for distractions to escape discomfort. Your soul cannot heal while avoidance remains your main strategy for coping with pain. I know part of you feels afraid of what change might require. Some things became familiar to you, even unhealthy things. Some patterns stayed in your life simply because they were comfortable, predictable, or emotionally easier than facing uncertainty. But comfort is not always peace. Familiarity is not always safety. There are areas of your life where staying the same is already hurting you more than the discomfort of changing ever would. Come closer now and trust me enough to release what has been draining your spirit. Let go of relationships that constantly darken your peace. Turn away from habits that leave your soul emptier afterward. Stop feeding thoughts that keep you trapped in fear, shame, and hopelessness. Open your hands instead of clinging tightly to things that are slowly suffocating your inner life. You do not need to transform your entire life overnight. I'm asking for willingness first. Give me your honesty. Give me your attention. Give me your next step instead of another excuse about why later will somehow become easier than today. Your future is being shaped by the choices you continue postponing right now. Come sit with me tonight without distractions. Let your walls come down for a little while. Speak openly with me about what your heart already knows needs to change. I am still here ready to guide you, my child, but you must stop delaying the healing your soul has been crying out for. My child, you think this is just another ordinary moment in your life, another quiet night, another passing message, another emotional conversation you will eventually move on from. But there is far more happening around you right now than you can see with your eyes. Your heart is standing at a crossroads, and heaven is paying attention to what you choose next. I need you to slow down and truly hear me, because your decisions in this season are shaping the direction of your future more deeply than you understand. You have reached a point where continuing the same patterns will only increase the emptiness inside you. You already feel the warning signs. Your spirit feels tired more often. Certain habits leave you feeling heavier afterward instead of peaceful. Some relationships are quietly draining life from your heart while you keep tolerating them because change feels uncomfortable. You sense conviction rising within you, yet part of you still wants to delay difficult choices a little longer. But listen carefully now. Do not keep treating your soul casually. There are moments in life when your heart becomes especially vulnerable to either healing or hardening. This is one of those moments for you. Every time you ignore conviction, your heart becomes slightly less sensitive. Every time you choose distraction over honesty, numbness grows deeper. That is why I am speaking so directly to you now. I love you too much to watch your spirit slowly drift farther into exhaustion while pretending nothing serious is happening inside you. Come sit with me honestly tonight. Turn away from the noise around you for a little while. Put down the endless distractions and allow your soul to breathe again. Ask yourself difficult questions instead of avoiding them. Are you becoming the person your heart truly longs to become? Are your choices leading you toward peace or farther away from it? Are you living awake spiritually, or merely surviving emotionally from one distraction to the next? Do not rush away from those questions. Stay with them. Let them soften you instead of frightening you. I am not standing over you waiting to condemn you. I am standing beside you, inviting you back toward life before your heart grows colder from delay, fear, and emotional exhaustion. Heaven celebrates every honest step you take toward healing, surrender, and truth. So stop resisting the invitation you already feel inside your spirit. Open your heart fully. Bring me your confusion, your fears, your shame, and your exhaustion. Let this become the moment where your life finally begins changing direction instead of continuing the same painful cycle. My child, heaven is watching this moment closely, and even your response to this message is becoming part of a larger spiritual decision than you realize. I am awakening people across the earth who refuse to stay silent while souls drift deeper into numbness, confusion, and despair. Every offering released into this mission becomes like fresh oil poured into a lamp that refuses to go out in dark times. I tell you again, the generous soul will prosper, and whoever waters others will themselves be watered. Do not overlook the urgency of what I am placing before you now, because there are hearts hanging between healing and hardening, and these messages are reaching them at critical moments. Those who step forward in obedience will see me move in unexpected ways, opening doors, strengthening weary spirits, and surrounding their lives with favor they did not anticipate. If this word has pierced your spirit, then do not wait until the moment passes. Support this mission today through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the video description. Move now, my child, because your obedience is helping keep the fire of truth burning while many are still searching for their way back to me. My child, some of the deepest wounds inside you were not caused by strangers. They came from people you trusted, people you opened your heart to, people whose words once felt safe to you. You gave love sincerely. You showed loyalty honestly. You stayed patient longer than most people ever realized. Yet somewhere along the way, disappointment entered your life through broken trust, rejection, betrayal, and emotional abandonment. Those experiences changed you more deeply than you admit even to yourself. You still carry some of that pain quietly. Now you hesitate before fully opening your heart again because you fear being hurt the same way another time. Part of you became guarded without even realizing it. You started expecting disappointment before people had the chance to prove otherwise. Sometimes you withdraw emotionally while pretending you are simply protecting your peace. Other times you tolerate unhealthy behavior because loneliness feels heavier than mistreatment. Pain has shaped many of your reactions more than you understand. Come closer and let me speak gently into those wounded places inside you. You do not need to keep carrying distrust like armor around your soul forever. I know why you built emotional walls. I saw how deeply certain words hurt you. I watched the way rejection made you question your worth. I saw how betrayal created fear inside your heart every time vulnerability appeared again afterward. But do not allow pain to permanently harden the soft parts of your spirit. Not everyone who enters your life will wound you the way others did. And even more importantly, I will never betray the trust of a heart that comes honestly to me. Bring your hurt into my presence instead of burying it beneath avoidance, isolation, or emotional numbness. Stop pretending those wounds no longer affect you. They still shape the way you love, the way you trust, and the way you see yourself. Sit with me and allow healing to begin where disappointment once settled deeply into your spirit. Release the bitterness you have been carrying toward people who hurt you. Let go of the constant need to protect yourself from every possible disappointment. Healing cannot fully enter your heart while fear keeps every emotional door locked shut. You deserve peace deeper than survival mode, my child. You deserve relationships that do not constantly wound your spirit. But first, let me heal the pain that taught you to expect heartbreak everywhere you turn. Stop running from those wounds. Bring them to me honestly now, and let your heart slowly become soft again without fear controlling every part of your inner life. My child, there were seasons when you stopped feeling much of anything spiritually, and that frightened you more than you admitted to anyone else. You still went through daily routines. You still smiled during conversations. You still handled responsibilities and showed up where people expected you to be. But inwardly, something felt disconnected. Prayer felt harder. Peace felt distant. Even your emotions became muted in ways you could not explain. You wondered whether you had drifted too far from me or whether something inside your heart had permanently changed. But listen to me carefully now. I never left you during those numb seasons. I stayed beside you even when you could no longer sense my presence clearly. I watched you carry emotional exhaustion for so long that your spirit eventually shut down certain feelings just to survive the pressure. Numbness was not proof that I abandoned you. It was often the result of carrying unresolved pain, disappointment, fear, and stress without giving your soul space to heal properly. You kept forcing yourself forward while quietly breaking underneath the surface, and eventually your heart grew tired of feeling everything all at once. Come sit with me honestly now instead of pretending you are unaffected by this. Stop condemning yourself for struggling emotionally. Your numbness does not scare me. Your confusion does not push me away. I understand the battles inside you more deeply than you understand them yourself. I know the exhaustion that settled into your thoughts after carrying silent burdens for too long. I know how discouragement slowly replaced passion in places where your heart once felt alive. But I am calling you back now. Do not remain emotionally asleep when healing is still possible for you. Open your heart again, even if it feels difficult at first. Speak honestly with me instead of offering polished words that hide what you truly feel. Bring me your emptiness. Bring me your disappointment. Bring me the parts of you that feel detached, weary, and spiritually drained. You do not need to fake strength with me. I would rather hear your honest pain than rehearsed perfection. Sit quietly tonight and allow your soul to rest in my presence without rushing. Stop filling every moment with noise. Let yourself feel again. Healing often begins when you finally stop running from what your heart has been trying to process for a very long time. I am still here, my child, patiently waiting for you to stop surviving emotionally and start living from a healed spirit again. My child, there were moments when life unexpectedly slowed down around you, and you thought those interruptions were meaningless frustrations. Plans changed suddenly. Certain opportunities disappeared. Doors closed without explanation. At the time, you focused only on the disappointment of what was not happening. But many of those pauses carried my hand more than you realized. I was trying to get your attention before you pushed yourself farther into exhaustion, distraction, and emotional emptiness. You kept interpreting every interruption as failure while I was creating space for your soul to breathe again. I know you became frustrated when life did not move according to your timeline. You wanted answers immediately. You wanted clarity. You wanted progress without interruption. But your inner life was becoming dangerously neglected while you stayed consumed with outward movement. So sometimes I allowed pauses because your spirit needed restoration more than your plans needed acceleration. Come here and think honestly about those seasons for a moment. Some of your deepest realizations happened during periods you originally wanted to escape as quickly as possible. Some of your clearest moments of self-awareness arrived after life forced you to slow down unexpectedly. Certain relationships revealed their true nature only after delays exposed what was hidden beneath appearances. Certain habits became impossible to ignore once silence finally surrounded your life again. Those pauses were not empty. They were invitations. I was calling you to stop rushing past your own soul. I was asking you to notice how tired your heart had become beneath all the busyness. I was trying to show you where your peace was leaking away little by little through constant pressure, distraction, unhealthy attachment, and emotional avoidance. But instead of listening closely, you often rushed to fill every pause with more noise because stillness felt uncomfortable. Do not keep resisting the quiet places where healing wants to begin. Sit with me now without immediately reaching for distraction. Let your mind slow down enough to hear what your heart has been trying to say underneath all the noise surrounding your life. Some of the answers you are searching for cannot be heard while your spirit remains overwhelmed constantly. I know you fear stillness sometimes because it forces hidden emotions to surface. But do not run from that anymore. Bring those feelings into my presence instead of burying them beneath endless activity. I can restore clarity inside the places where confusion has been growing. I can heal exhaustion that busyness kept masking for years. Let the pause become sacred instead of something you constantly try to escape. My child, there were seasons in your life when everything seemed to shake at once, and you could not understand why so many things were falling apart around you. Relationships became strained. Plans collapsed unexpectedly. Your emotions felt unstable. Certain comforts you depended on no longer satisfied you the way they once did. During those moments, you kept asking why life suddenly became so heavy. But some storms entered your life because your soul was drifting toward places that would have slowly destroyed your peace if nothing interrupted your path. I know that truth is difficult for you to hear. You were moving so quickly through life that you stopped noticing how disconnected you had become from yourself spiritually. You ignored exhaustion because productivity distracted you from it. You ignored pain because constant busyness gave you temporary escape. You ignored conviction because distractions made it easier not to think too deeply. Over time, your inner life became weaker while outwardly everything still appeared functional. So sometimes I allowed storms to slow you down before you completely lost sight of who you truly were. Come sit with me and look honestly at what those difficult seasons revealed about your heart. Some storms exposed relationships that were quietly damaging you. Some revealed fears you had bearing for years. Some forced you to confront unhealthy patterns you kept avoiding because they felt familiar. You called those seasons painful, and they were. But many of them also became turning points that prevented far deeper destruction later. Stop viewing every hardship as proof that I abandoned you. Some interruptions were mercy wearing rough clothing. Some heartbreaks removed people who would have led your spirit farther away from peace. Some disappointments shattered illusions that kept you trapped emotionally. Even now, you are stronger, wiser, and more self-aware because of things you once begged me to remove immediately. Do not waste what those storms tried to teach you. Sit quietly tonight and ask yourself what patterns still need to change. Ask yourself whether your heart has truly healed or merely learned how to survive pain without addressing it honestly. Bring those questions to me instead of avoiding them. Let the storms become lessons instead of meaningless suffering. I know you became tired during those seasons. I know there were nights when you questioned whether you could keep moving forward emotionally. But you are still here, my child. You survived things that once felt impossible to endure. Now let those experiences soften your spirit instead of hardening it. Let them guide you back toward deeper peace instead of pushing you farther into emotional numbness and distraction. My child, some storms were allowed to wake you before you lost yourself completely. And now I am calling you to help awaken others who are still wandering through spiritual darkness without realizing how close they are to breaking. There are weary souls hearing these words tonight who were moments away from giving up hope, yet I am using this message like thunder before the rain, shaking hearts awake before it becomes too late. Every seed you release into this work becomes part of a harvest of restoration, like rivers flowing into dry wilderness where life almost disappeared. I've declared, those who sow in tears will reap with songs of joy, and I am watching every act of obedience connected to this assignment. Do not think your giving is small in my eyes, because even what feels little to you can become manna for someone starving spiritually. I will multiply what is surrendered with faith, and I will guard, strengthen, and provide for those who move when I prompt their hearts. If you feel the weight of this moment, then respond now through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the video description. Do not wait, my child. Sow into this mission immediately and help carry my voice to hearts that still need one final wake-up call. My child, your heart has been standing between two directions for longer than you admit to yourself. Part of you wants peace, healing, clarity, and closeness with me. But another part of you keeps clinging to familiar patterns, distractions, fears, and emotional habits that quietly pull you farther away from the life your soul truly needs. That inner tension is exhausting you more than you realize. You feel torn because deep down you already know something in your life cannot continue the way it has been. You sense it during quiet moments when your thoughts become honest. There are choices you keep postponing. There are conversations you avoid with yourself because truth feels uncomfortable. You keep hoping clarity will arrive without requiring surrender, but your soul already recognizes the direction I have been calling you toward. The problem is not confusion as much as hesitation. Change feels costly to you because familiar pain often feels safer than unfamiliar healing. But listen carefully now. Remaining stuck at this crossroads is already costing you peace. Every day you continue ignoring what your heart already knows. The exhaustion inside you grows heavier. Your spirit becomes more restless. Your thoughts become more scattered. Your emotional energy drains faster because living divided internally creates constant tension within the soul. You cannot keep moving toward healing while holding tightly to the very things that are wounding your spirit at the same time. So stop standing in the middle. Stop delaying decisions your heart already understands need attention. Come sit with me honestly and allow truth to speak louder than fear. You do not need every answer before taking your next step. You only need willingness to stop running from what your soul already recognizes. Ask yourself difficult questions tonight. Are your current habits leading you toward peace or deeper emptiness? Are the people surrounding your life strengthening your spirit or draining it? Are you becoming softer, wiser, and healthier emotionally, or merely more distracted and emotionally numb over time? Do not avoid those questions. Say with them. Let them reveal what your soul has been trying to tell you beneath all the noise. I am not asking you to rebuild your entire life in one moment. I am asking you to stop resisting the direction your heart already knows is necessary. Open your hands and release what no longer belongs in your spirit. Turn toward me fully instead of trying to keep one foot in healing and the other in habits that keep wounding you emotionally. You are closer to transformation than you realize, my child. But you cannot step into peace while refusing to leave behind the patterns slowly stealing it from you. My child, there is a reason certain thoughts keep returning to your heart no matter how hard you try to push them away. There is a reason you feel unsettled after certain choices, certain conversations, certain habits, and certain moments when you know deep down you are not living in alignment with the peace your soul truly needs. That feeling inside you is not weakness. It is not random guilt. It is conviction, and I need you to stop silencing it every time it rises within you. You have spent too much time trying to quiet your soul instead of listening to what it has been trying to tell you. Every time conviction surfaced, distractions quickly followed. You kept yourself busy. You reached for entertainment, noise, endless scrolling, work, or temporary comforts because facing truth honestly felt uncomfortable. But avoiding conviction does not remove it. It only pushes your heart deeper into exhaustion. Over time, ignoring those inner warnings slowly weakened your peace, clouded your clarity, and made emotional numbness feel normal. Come closer now and stop running from what your spirit already recognizes. Sit quietly with me tonight and allow your heart to become honest again. There are areas of your life where you already know change is necessary. Certain patterns leave you happier every time you return to them. Certain environments drain life from your soul. Certain habits keep pulling your thoughts farther away from peace and deeper into confusion. Yet part of you still keeps negotiating with those things because letting go feels difficult. But listen carefully now. Conviction is not meant to shame you. It is trying to rescue you before your heart grows colder. Do not treat conviction like an enemy. Welcome it as mercy reaching for your spirit before deeper damage settles into your life. Open your hands and stop defending the very things that keep wounding your inner peace. Bring your struggles into my presence honestly instead of hiding behind excuses about why change feels inconvenient right now. You do not need to become perfect overnight, my child. But you do need honesty. You do need surrender. You do need willingness to stop ignoring what your soul already knows is harming you emotionally and spiritually. Sit with me without distractions for a little while. Let your walls come down. Let conviction soften your heart instead of hardening it through repeated avoidance. I am still calling you toward peace, clarity, healing, and restoration. But you cannot continue muting the voice inside you that keeps trying to guide you back toward life before exhaustion completely takes over your spirit. My child, you keep asking why your heart feels restless even during moments when life appears stable on the outside. You wonder why your thoughts feel heavy, why your spirit feels unsettled, and why true peace seems to disappear so quickly no matter how hard you try to hold on to it. But there are compromises inside your life that your soul has been struggling to carry quietly for a long time. Some choices, habits, environments, and emotional attachments are slowly pulling your heart away from the peace you keep praying for. You cannot nurture peace while constantly feeding the very things that weaken it. I say this to you gently because I know compromise rarely begins with rebellion. Most of the time it begins with exhaustion, loneliness, emotional hunger, fear, or the desire for temporary comfort. You told yourself certain patterns were harmless because they helped you cope. You justified certain habits because they distracted you from pain for a little while. But temporary relief often comes with hidden costs to the soul. Over time, compromise slowly clouds your clarity and drains your inner peace little by little until confusion begins feeling normal. Come sit honestly with me now and stop pretending your spirit is unaffected by these things. You already feel the tension inside you every time conviction rises. You already notice how certain choices leave your heart emptier afterward. Yet part of you keeps returning to them because familiarity feels easier than surrender. But familiarity is not freedom, my child. Comfort is not always healing. I am inviting you now to stop negotiating with what is slowly damaging your peace. Turn away from habits that leave darkness lingering in your thoughts afterward. Step back from relationships that constantly exhaust your spirit. Stop feeding emotional patterns that keep strengthening fear, bitterness, shame, and numbness inside your heart. You were not created to live divided between healing and compromise at the same time. Do not become discouraged hearing this. I am not speaking to condemn you. I am showing you where your peace has been leaking away so healing can begin honestly. Open your heart instead of defending what your spirit already knows is unhealthy. Bring your compromises into the light with me. Speak truthfully about where you feel stuck instead of hiding behind excuses and distractions. Peace is still possible for you, my child. Real peace. Peace. But you must stop planting seeds that constantly grow confusion inside your spirit while expecting clarity to flourish at the same time. Come closer now. Release what keeps darkening your inner life. Let your soul breathe freely again without compromise, quietly stealing the peace I have been trying to restore within you. My child, your mind has been carrying more noise than your soul was ever designed to handle. Even when your body becomes physically tired, your thoughts continue moving. You replay conversations. You overanalyze situations. You worry about outcomes you cannot control yet. You carry pressure about the future while still dragging pain from the past behind you. Quiet moments have become difficult because silence no longer feels restful to you. The moment everything slows down, your thoughts begin racing again, and your heart struggles to find stillness. I see how exhausted this has made you. You have spent so long operating in survival mode that true rest now feels unfamiliar. Even during moments meant for peace, your mind stays alert as though danger is always waiting nearby. Fear, disappointment, pressure, comparison, and emotional overload have trained your thoughts to remain tense. Over time, your soul became drained while your mind continued running without pause. That is why you feel emotionally worn down even after trying to rest physically. Your body pauses, but your inner world never truly settles. Come closer now and stop carrying everything alone inside your head. Sit quietly with me for a moment without immediately reaching for distraction. Turn off the noise around you and allow your breathing to slow down. Let your thoughts settle instead of feeding every anxious spiral that enters your mind. You do not need to solve your entire future tonight. You do not need to carry tomorrow's fears before tomorrow even arrives. Your soul is asking for rest, not more pressure. I know part of you fears slowing down because buried emotions rise to the surface when life becomes quiet. But do not run from that anymore. Bring those fears, those worries, those racing thoughts into my presence honestly. Speak openly with me instead of silently drowning beneath mental exhaustion. I want to steady your heart before anxiety completely steals your peace. Stop filling every empty space with noise just because stillness feels uncomfortable. Rest is not laziness, my child. Rest is healing for a weary spirit. Your mind cannot continue carrying endless pressure without consequences for your emotional health. That is why I am asking you now to slow down and return to me instead of constantly living inside fear-filled thinking. Let me quiet the chaos within you. Let me teach your heart how to breathe again without panic controlling your thoughts. Peace is still possible for you, but you must stop feeding the storms inside your mind every day. Sit with me now and allow your soul to finally rest in a way the world has never been able to provide. My child, as your soul begins to rest in my presence, understand that I am also raising voices across the earth to carry the same healing to weary hearts who are one moment away from giving up. Every seed you sow into this mission becomes oil for lamps still burning in dark places, reaching souls who desperately need to hear that they are not abandoned. Did I not say, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest"? Even now, I am speaking those words through this message to someone standing at the edge of despair. If this word has calmed the storm inside you, then do not ignore the stirring I am placing in your spirit to help carry it farther. Through your super thanks, your membership, or your PayPal gift in the video description, you become part of the river of peace I am pouring out in this hour. I will bless the hands that release generosity and obedience, and I will multiply what is surrendered to me with favor, provision, and protection over your life. Do not delay this prompting, my child. Sow now, support this work now, and help bring resting places to exhausted souls before it is too late. My child, one of the deepest reasons your heart has felt so empty at times is because you were never created to live disconnected from me. You tried to build peace through other things. You searched for meaning in achievements, relationships, distractions, entertainment, and constant movement. Some of those things gave temporary comfort for a while, but none of them could fully satisfy the deeper longing inside your spirit. That I kept returning because your soul was created for closeness with me, not separation from me. You feel the effects of that distance more than you realize. When your connection with me weakens, confusion grows louder. Fear becomes heavier. Your thoughts become more restless. You begin depending on temporary comforts to carry emotional weight they were never designed to hold. Over time, your spirit becomes exhausted from trying to survive without the peace, guidance, and restoration that only I can truly give you. That is why even moments that appear successful outwardly sometimes still leave you feeling emotionally empty afterward. Come here now and stop trying to satisfy spiritual hunger with temporary distractions. Sit honestly with me instead of continuing to fill your life with things that cannot heal your soul. I know you became busy. I know life wounded you in ways that made emotional distance feel safer. I know disappointment sometimes made you withdraw from me quietly without even noticing how far your heart had drifted. But I am still here calling you back. You do not need to clean yourself up perfectly before returning to me. You do not need rehearsed prayers or polished words. I want honesty from you more than performance. Bring me your confusion. Bring me your fears. Bring me the parts of your life that feel broken, scattered, tired, and spiritually dry. Open those hidden places instead of pretending everything is fine. Your soul already knows it cannot continue living disconnected from peace forever. That is why distraction no longer satisfies you the way it once did. That is why your heart still feels restless after chasing things you thought would finally fulfill you. Your spirit is hungry for something deeper. So stop resisting the invitation you keep feeling inside. Turn toward me fully instead of keeping me at the edges of your life while other things consume your attention. Spend time with me again. Sit in silence with me again. Let your soul reconnect with the peace it has been missing for far too long. You were never meant to carry life without me, my child. And you do not have to keep trying anymore. My child, before disappointment hardened certain parts of your heart, there was a softer version of you that trusted more easily, hoped more freely, and believed life could still hold beauty ahead. You remember that version of yourself, even if only faintly now. There was a time when your heart felt more alive, more open, and less burdened by fear. But pain changed you gradually. Repeated disappointments, unanswered prayers, betrayal, exhaustion, and emotional wounds slowly taught you to protect yourself instead of remaining vulnerable. I saw it every moment that transformation happened. You did not become guarded overnight. You learned it through survival. Every heartbreak added another layer around your heart. Every season of waiting tested your hope. Every rejection whispered lies about your worth until eventually you stopped expecting good things with the same confidence you once carried naturally. Part of you still longs to believe deeply again, but another part fears being hurt one more time. Come sit with me honestly and let your heart breathe for a moment. Stop pretending that pain did not affect you. Stop acting as though disappointment never changed the way you see yourself, your future, and even your relationship with me. I know there are places inside you that became tired from hoping for too long without seeing the answers you wanted. But do not mistake delayed healing for abandoned purpose. The softer parts of your spirit are not dead, my child. They are wounded, and wounded things can heal. I am inviting you now to stop living as though your best emotional days are already behind you. Open your heart again little by little instead of locking it away behind fear and emotional distance. Let me rebuild trust where disappointment weakened it. Let me restore hope where bitterness quietly settled in. You do not need to force yourself into false positivity. I am asking for honesty, not performance. Sit quietly with me tonight and remember who you were before fear became louder than peace inside your thoughts. Remember how deeply your heart once longed for closeness, purpose, and genuine joy. That part of you still exists beneath the exhaustion and pain. I still see it clearly, even when you struggle to recognize it yourself. Do not surrender your future to the wounds of your past. Bring those broken places to me instead of hiding them behind emotional walls. Healing will take honesty, patience, and surrender, but it is still possible for you. Your heart was not created to remain trapped in survival mode forever. Come back toward life again, my child. I am still calling you there. My child, there are disappointments inside your heart that you rarely speak about openly because they feel too personal, too painful, or too difficult to explain. Some grief does not come from losing something you once had. Sometimes grief comes from the life you imagined would happen but never did. You carried hopes about relationships, timing, opportunities, healing, family, purpose, and seasons of your life that unfolded very differently than you expected. Over time, those unmet expectations quietly became sorrow you learned how to carry in silence. I know how deeply some of those disappointments affected you. There were moments when you truly believed certain prayers would be answered differently. You pictured your future unfolding another way. You thought certain people would say. You thought some doors would open. You believed certain seasons of pain would end much sooner than they did. And when life moved in another direction, part of your heart became discouraged in ways you never fully processed honestly. Come here for a moment and stop pretending those losses did not wound you. Sit with me and acknowledge the grief you keep burying beneath busyness and emotional distraction. You cannot heal pain that you refuse to admit still hurts. I know there are memories that still tighten your chest when they return unexpectedly. I know there are dreams you quietly stopped talking about because disappointment exhausted your hope. But listen carefully now. Just because life unfolded differently does not mean your future has lost its purpose. You keep looking backward, wondering what could have been while forgetting that I still see what can become possible ahead. Some dreams needed to die because they would not have brought the peace you imagined. Some unanswered prayers protected you from paths that looked beautiful but would have damaged your spirit over time. And some losses were never meant to destroy you, even though they deeply changed you. Bring your grief to me honestly instead of carrying it alone any longer. Let yourself mourn what hurt you without becoming trapped there permanently. Release the bitterness forming around disappointments you still do not understand fully. Stop measuring your worth by the dreams that failed to happen according to your timeline. There is still life ahead of you, my child. There is still healing ahead of you. There is still purpose beyond the heartbreaks and disappointments you thought would define your entire future. Let me comfort the weary places inside your soul instead of hardening them through silent grief. Come sit with me and let hope slowly breathe again within you. My child, there are parts of your heart that became heavier over time because disappointment slowly turned into bitterness without you fully noticing when it happened. At first you were only hurt. You were trying to process pain, rejection, unanswered prayers, and situations that felt unfair. But as those wounds stayed unresolved, frustration quietly settled deeper into your spirit. You began carrying resentment toward people who hurt you, toward situations you could not control, and sometimes even toward yourself. In certain moments, you even felt anger toward me because life unfolded differently than you hoped. I saw all of it, even the emotions you tried to hide. Bitterness rarely announces itself loudly in the beginning. It grows quietly through repeated disappointment and unresolved pain. It changes the way you think. It changes the way you trust. It changes the way you expect things to unfold in your future. Over time, joy becomes harder to hold on to because bitterness convinces your heart to expect hurt before hope. You stop opening yourself fully to peace because part of you assumes disappointment will eventually follow anyway. Come sit with me honestly now and stop pretending those wounds no longer affect you. You cannot carry resentment for years without it shaping your spirit. I know some people hurt you deeply. I know certain situations felt unfair and painful beyond words. I know there are moments you still replay in your mind because part of you never truly healed from them. But do not allow old pain to poison the future I still want to build within your life. Release what has been hardening your heart. Forgiveness does not mean pretending your pain was small. It means refusing to let bitterness continue controlling your inner life. You deserve peace deeper than resentment, my child. You deserve mornings where your spirit does not immediately feel heavy from carrying unresolved anger and grief. But healing cannot fully enter places where bitterness still remains protected. Bring those wounded memories to me instead of feeding them endlessly inside your thoughts. Speak honestly with me about who hurt you, what disappointed you, and where your heart still feels angry or broken. Let those emotions come into the light instead of quietly shaping your life from hidden places inside you. I am not asking you to force yourself into fake positivity. I am asking you to stop allowing old wounds to keep stealing your ability to feel hope, joy, and peace again. Your heart has carried enough heaviness already. Come closer now, and let me begin softening the hardened places inside your spirit before bitterness takes even more from you than it already has. My child, bitterness has stolen enough from hearts already, which is why I am sending this message like fire into hidden wounds that many have carried silently for years. There are souls listening right now whose joy is barely surviving, and your act of giving can help place light back into places darkness tried to claim forever. A seed placed into my work is never wasted. It becomes living water flowing into dry spirits and broken homes. Have I not told you that those who sow in tears will reap with songs of joy? I am still fulfilling that promise even now through willing hearts who choose obedience over hesitation. If this message has softened hardened places inside you, then hear my invitation clearly. Help this word continue reaching those trapped beneath resentment, fear, and emotional exhaustion. Through super thanks, membership, or a PayPal donation found in the video description, you help spread healing far beyond what your eyes can currently see. Act now, my child. Release your seed, strengthen this mission, and let your generosity become part of someone else's restoration before the night grows darker. My child, one reason you kept delaying your return to me is because part of you believed you needed to fix yourself first. You thought you needed to become stronger, cleaner, more disciplined, more spiritually consistent, or less broken before you could truly come close to me again. Shame convinced you that you had to repair every weakness privately before you deserved intimacy with me. So instead of running toward me during your struggles, you kept hiding from me inside your guilt, your distractions, and your fear of being seen fully. But listen carefully now. I never asked you to heal yourself alone before approaching me. You have exhausted yourself trying to appear stronger than you actually feel. You learned how to hide your struggles behind functioning, busyness, humor, silence, or emotional distance, because vulnerability felt uncomfortable. Deep down, you worried that if anyone truly saw the condition of your heart, they might reject you. Over time, that fear quietly shaped the way you approached me too. You started treating me like someone you needed to impress instead of someone who already knew every detail of your soul. Come closer now and stop running from my presence every time you feel weak. Bring me the version of you that feels tired, confused, inconsistent, anxious, distracted, or emotionally overwhelmed. Bring me the habits you are ashamed of. Bring me the thoughts you hide from everyone else. Bring me the wounds you keep pretending no longer hurt. I can work with honesty. I can heal surrender. But you must stop hiding behind the belief that perfection is required before closeness with me becomes possible again. You are not too broken for my love. You are not too far gone for restoration. You are not disqualified because you struggled longer than you expected. Sit quietly with me tonight without pretending. Let your walls come down for a little while. Stop rehearsing polished spiritual words while your heart quietly suffers underneath them. Speak honestly with me instead. Tell me where you feel lost. Tell me where you feel ashamed. Tell me where you no longer recognize yourself emotionally. I already know those places exist inside you, my child, and my love has not changed because of them. Healing begins when honesty replaces hiding. Peace begins when surrender replaces performance. So stop waiting until you have everything together before returning fully to me. The day will never arrive through your own strength alone. Come now, exactly as you are. and let me begin restoring the weary places inside your soul one step at a time. My child, there are parts of your life you rarely allow anyone to see because shame convinced you those parts make you unworthy of love, peace, or closeness with me. You learned how to hide your struggles carefully. You hide certain thoughts. You hide certain habits. You hide memories that still make your heart ache when they return unexpectedly. Over time, shame became more than a feeling. It became a wall between your heart and the healing you desperately need. I see how exhausting that has become for you. You keep trying to outrun shame through distraction, performance, busyness, or emotional distance, but it keeps following you quietly into lonely moments. Sometimes you hear its voice when you look at your past. Other times you hear it when you compare yourself to people who seem more stable, more disciplined, or more spiritually confident than you feel right now. Shame keeps whispering that you should stay hidden because if anyone truly saw your inner struggles, they would reject you. But listen carefully now. Shame thrives in secrecy, not in honesty. That is why I am asking you to stop hiding from me. Come into my presence exactly as you are instead of waiting until you feel more worthy. Bring me the parts of your story you avoid talking about. Bring me the habits that leave you feeling empty afterward. Bring me the regrets you keep replaying in silence. Bring me the hidden battles you smile through while pretending everything is fine. I already know every detail of your life, my child, and I have not turned away from you. You do not need to keep carrying this weight alone. Shame wants you isolated because isolation weakens the soul. But healing begins when you finally stop hiding. Open your heart honestly tonight. Speak plainly with me instead of rehearsing safe, surface-level prayers. Let your walls come down for a little while. Let yourself be fully seen without fear. You are not beyond restoration because you struggled. You are not disqualified because you fell short. You are not permanently broken because certain wounds or weaknesses stayed longer than you expected. My love for you was never dependent on your perfection. That is why I am still calling you closer instead of pushing you away. Stop allowing shame to convince you that hiding is safer than healing. Step into the light with me. Let me touch the places inside you that fear exposure the most. I can restore what shame tried to bury. I can heal what guilt kept hidden for years. But you must stop running from the very presence where freedom for your soul still waits. My child, there was a time when your heart carried more hope than it does now. You looked ahead with expectation. You believed things could still improve. You trusted that healing, joy, love, peace, and breakthrough were possible for your life. But disappointment slowly changed the way you see the future. After enough heartbreak, unanswered prayers, setbacks, and emotional exhaustion, part of you quietly stopped expecting good things because hope itself started feeling dangerous. I know why that happened inside you. You became tired of getting your hopes up only to feel hurt again. You grew weary of waiting for change that seemed delayed longer than you understood. Over time, protecting yourself from disappointment became more important than remaining open to possibility. So you lowered your expectations emotionally. You stopped dreaming as freely. You stopped trusting joy to last. You started preparing yourself mentally for loss before good things even had the chance to grow. But my child, fear of disappointment has been stealing more from your life than disappointment itself ever did. When fear controls your expectations, your spirit slowly closes itself off from hope. You begin surviving emotionally instead of living fully. You settle for numbness because it feels safer than vulnerability. You convince yourself not to expect too much so pain will hurt less if things go wrong again. But that mindset quietly drains color, faith, and peace from your inner life little by little. Come sit with me honestly now and let your guarded heart soften again. Stop assuming every good thing will eventually collapse. Stop carrying hopelessness like protection around your soul. I know life wounded you deeply in certain places, but your future is not doomed simply because your past contained pain. Open your heart again little by little. Allow yourself to believe healing is still possible. Allow yourself to imagine peace without immediately expecting it to disappear. You do not need to force fake optimism onto yourself. I am asking you to stop surrendering your future to fear before life even unfolds. Bring your disappointments to me instead of building emotional walls around them. Let me restore trust where discouragement weakened it. Let me breathe hope back into the exhausted places inside your spirit. There is still goodness ahead of you, my child. There are still moments your heart has not experienced yet. There is still peace deeper than the fear you carry right now. But you must stop allowing disappointment to define what you believe is possible for your future. Come closer now and let hope slowly return to your soul again. My child, one reason your heart feels so exhausted spiritually is because you spent too much time trying to appear stronger, calmer, and more faithful than you actually felt inside. You learned how to perform your way through pain. You learned how to say the right things while hiding your true emotions underneath. Even when you came near me, part of you still felt pressure to sound composed instead of honest. You worried that weakness, confusion, anger, or exhaustion would somehow disappoint me if you spoke about them openly. But listen carefully now. I am not asking you to impress me. I already know the condition of your heart before you speak a single word. I know the fears you hide behind silence. I know the thoughts that trouble you late at night. I know where you feel emotionally drained, spiritually distant, and mentally overwhelmed. Yet despite all of that, I am still inviting you closer. That should tell you something important about my love for you. Come sit with me honestly instead of performing for me. Stop rehearsing perfect words while your soul quietly struggles underneath them. Stop pretending you are okay when your spirit is exhausted. Bring me the real version of you. Bring me your questions. Bring me your frustration. Bring me your disappointment, your confusion, your doubts, and your weariness. I can heal honesty far more deeply than I can heal performance. You became so focused on appearing fine that sometimes you forgot how to truly open your heart anymore. You kept certain emotions buried because vulnerability felt uncomfortable. But hiding pain does not remove it, my child. Hidden wounds still shape the way you think, the way you love, the way you trust, and the way you move through life emotionally. That is why I am asking you now to stop protecting your image more than your healing. You do not need to earn closeness with me through perfection. You do not need flawless discipline before you deserve peace. You do not need to clean every broken area of your life before sitting in my presence again. I am asking for honesty because honesty opens the door for restoration to begin. So take a deep breath tonight and let your walls come down. Speak plainly with me. Tell me where your heart feels tired. Tell me where fear keeps controlling your thoughts. Tell me what still hurts inside you. Let your soul finally exhale instead of carrying the pressure to appear strong every moment of every day. You are loved more deeply than your performance could ever achieve, my child. Come closer now without pretending, and let healing meet the real you. My child, I am calling people out of performance and back into truth, because many souls have grown exhausted pretending they are spiritually alive while secretly breaking inside. This message is not entertainment. It is a rescue call for hearts collapsing quietly beneath pressure, shame, and hidden pain. Every act of generosity toward this mission becomes fresh manna for someone starving spiritually, someone praying for one final sign that I still see them. Did I not say the truth shall make you free? I am still speaking freedom through surrendered vessels willing to carry my voice without compromise. If this message spoke honestly to the deepest places within you, then do not silence the prompting I am placing on your heart to help this word continue spreading. Through your super thanks, your membership, or your PayPal support in the video description, you help keep this light burning for countless others searching for hope in the darkness. I will honor those who honor what I am building in this hour, and I will breathe increase upon the seeds released in faith. So move now, my child. Give boldly, support this mission faithfully, and help bring healing to souls still hiding behind masks. My child, you do not fully realize how important this season of your life truly is. You keep thinking these moments are small, temporary, or easy to postpone. But there are decisions happening inside your heart right now that will shape your future more deeply than you understand. The direction you continue walking emotionally, spiritually, and mentally will eventually become the life you live. That is why I keep calling you to slow down, pay attention, and stop ignoring what your soul has been trying to tell you. You are standing closer to transformation than you think. For a long time, you have carried exhaustion, fear, disappointment, distraction, and unresolved pain while hoping things would somehow improve without true surrender taking place inside you. But now your heart has reached a point where continuing the same patterns will only deepen the emptiness you already feel. You know this inside yourself. That restless feeling within you is not random. It is your spirit recognizing that something must change. So stop treating this moment casually. Sit with me honestly and ask yourself what direction your life is moving toward right now. Are your current habits bringing you closer to peace or farther from it? Are your thoughts healing your spirit or feeding fear constantly? Are the things consuming your attention helping your soul grow stronger or leaving you emptier at the end of each day? Do not avoid those questions. Let them reach the deeper places inside you that distractions usually keep buried. I am not asking you to become a completely different person overnight. I am asking you to stop resisting the changes your soul already knows are necessary. Open your heart fully instead of continuing to live divided between healing and unhealthy patterns at the same time. Release what keeps pulling your spirit backward. Step away from distractions that leave your heart numb. Turn toward me with honesty instead of delay. This moment can become a turning point if you allow it. Not because your life will suddenly become perfect, but because surrender changes the direction of the soul. One honest decision to stop hiding can begin restoring peace. One sincere moment of surrender can start healing years of emotional exhaustion. One choice to fully return to me can slowly transform areas of your life you thought would always remain broken. Do not underestimate the power of the step you take today, my child. Your future is not locked into the pain of your past. Healing is still possible. Clarity is still possible. Peace is still possible. But you must stop waiting for someday while your soul quietly begs for change right now. Come closer and let this become the beginning of something new within you. My child, you keep looking at your past as though it permanently disqualified you from becoming who you were meant to be. You replay old mistakes, lost opportunities, broken relationships, wasted years, and seasons where you drifted far from peace, and then you quietly wonder whether too much damage has already been done. Sometimes you speak harshly to yourself without even realizing it. You see your failures more clearly than you see your value. You remember where you fell short more easily than you remember how many times I carried you through moments that should have destroyed you completely. But listen carefully now. Your failures were never powerful enough to cancel the purpose I still see within you. You are not beyond restoration because your journey became messy. You are not forgotten because you lost your way during painful seasons. I know every chapter of your life, including the ones you wish you could erase. I saw the moments you acted out of fear instead of wisdom. I saw the seasons where exhaustion pulled you into unhealthy patterns. I saw where disappointment hardened your heart and where shame kept you hiding from healing. Yet through all of it, I never stopped seeing the person you could still become. Come sit with me honestly and stop defining your future by your worst moments. Stop treating your mistakes as though they are the final truth about your identity. Your life still carries meaning. Your heart still carries purpose. There are still parts of you waiting to heal, grow, and come alive again if you stop surrendering to hopelessness. You became so focused on what went wrong that you forgot I am still capable of creating something beautiful from broken pieces. Do not underestimate what healing, surrender, honesty, and time in my presence can restore inside a weary soul. I can rebuild confidence where failure weakened you. I can restore peace where shame exhausted you. I can breathe purpose back into places where disappointment convinced you to give up. So stop speaking over your future as though your story has already ended. Stop agreeing with the lie that your best days are permanently behind you. Come closer now and let me show you that failure is not the same thing as finality. Your wounds are real, but they do not own your destiny. Open your heart again. Take one honest step toward healing instead of another step deeper into discouragement. Let hope return slowly. Let peace return gradually. Let your soul believe once more that your life still matters deeply to me. Because it does, my child. It always has. My child, you have spent so much time protecting your heart from pain that sometimes you do not even realize how emotionally guarded you have become. You learned how to hide what you truly feel because vulnerability felt unsafe after everything you experienced. So instead of opening your heart honestly, you stayed busy, distracted, emotionally distant, or quietly numb. You kept surviving your days without fully allowing yourself to process what was happening inside your soul. But healing cannot fully begin while hiding continues. I know why you became this way. I know certain wounds taught you to keep parts of yourself locked away. I know disappointment made trust feel dangerous. I know shame convinced you that your struggles should remain hidden. But every wall you built to protect yourself also kept deeper healing from reaching the places that hurt most. That is why your spirit still feels tired even after trying so hard to move forward. Come closer now and stop running from your emotions every time they rise to the surface. Sit with me honestly instead of burying your pain beneath distractions. Speak openly with me about the fears you rarely admit aloud. Tell me where your heart still feels broken. Tell me where anger, grief, regret, loneliness, or confusion still linger beneath the surface. I already see those places inside you, my child, and I am not asking you to hide them anymore. You do not need to fear being fully seen by me. I am not looking for polished versions of your heart. I am not asking for rehearsed spiritual words while your soul quietly suffers underneath them. I want truth from you. I want honesty. I want the real version of you to step into my presence without pretending everything is fine. So stop numbing yourself every time emotions become uncomfortable. Stop hiding behind busyness when your soul needs stillness and healing. Let yourself feel what you have been avoiding for so long. Cry if you need to. Sit quietly if you need to. Speak honestly if you need to. But do not continue carrying hidden pain alone while pretending strength means silence. Healing often begins in the very moments where honesty finally replaces hiding. That is why I keep calling you closer. I want to restore the places inside you that exhaustion, fear, disappointment, and shame have touched for far too long. Let your heart open again little by little. Let your soul breathe again without carrying every burden in secret. You are safe with me, my child. Come out of hiding now and let healing finally begin. My child, you have spent so much time searching for peace in places that were never designed to carry the weight of your soul. You looked for it in people. You looked for it in success, comfort, entertainment, relationships, attention, money, distractions, and constant movement. Some of those things gave temporary relief for a little while, but none of them stayed long enough to heal the deeper ache inside you. That is why your heart still feels restless even after moments that were supposed to satisfy you emotionally. The world keeps offering you temporary escape while your soul keeps begging for something real. I watched you chase things that promised comfort but quietly left you emptier afterward. You kept hoping the next achievement, the next relationship, the next opportunity, or the next distraction would finally silence the heaviness inside your spirit. But every temporary comfort eventually faded, and the emptiness returned because your soul cannot survive on temporary things forever. Come closer now and stop exhausting yourself trying to find lasting peace in places that cannot provide it. Sit quietly with me for a little while instead of immediately reaching for another distraction every time discomfort rises inside you. Your heart already knows that endless noise is not healing you. Your spirit already recognizes that constant escape is not the same thing as peace. I am not asking you to abandon every earthly responsibility or pleasure. I am asking you to stop expecting the world to heal wounds only I can truly restore. There are places inside your heart where human approval will never be enough. There are fears inside you that success cannot remove. There are aches within your spirit that distractions can numb temporarily but never truly heal. Stop running in circles searching for peace while avoiding the very presence where peace still waits for you. Open your heart again. Spend time with me without rushing. Let silence become sacred instead of uncomfortable. Bring me your racing thoughts, your exhaustion, your loneliness, and your hidden fears. Let me steady the places inside you that the world keeps overstimulating but never restoring. You deserve deeper peace than this constant emotional survival mode, my child. You deserve mornings where anxiety does not immediately flood your thoughts. You deserve rest that reaches your soul instead of only distracting your mind temporarily. But that peace cannot grow while your life remains centered around things that constantly pull your spirit farther away from stillness and truth. Come back to me now. Let your soul rest where it was always meant to rest. Stop searching endlessly for what can only truly be found in my presence. My child, the world is growing louder while souls grow emptier, which is why I am raising messages like this to call my children back before their hearts become completely consumed by distraction. Many are searching endlessly for peace while standing only one moment away from hearing the very truth that could save them from spiritual collapse. Your giving becomes like oil poured into sacred lamps, keeping this message alive for those wandering through emotional darkness without direction. Did I not say you will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart? I am still drawing weary souls home through every word released in obedience to my voice. If this message awakens something eternal inside you, then recognize this moment as more than coincidence. It is a divine invitation to help carry my presence farther. Through super thanks, membership, or a PayPal donation in the video description, you become part of the harvest I am gathering before many hearts drift too far into emptiness. I will pour peace, covering, and unexpected favor over those who sow into my kingdom work with willing hearts. Do not scroll past this moment, my child. Act now, give now, and help call wandering souls back home before it is too late. My child, there are moments when you quietly wonder whether you are still fully loved after all the mistakes, failures, disappointments, and seasons of distance you have carried. Shame convinced you that your struggles somehow reduced your worth. Pain convinced you that broken people eventually become forgotten. Sometimes you look at your own life and only see flaws, weaknesses, delays, and wounds. You become so aware of everything that feels unfinished inside you that you forget how deeply loved you still are in the middle of it all. But listen carefully now. Nothing about your brokenness changed my love for you. I loved you during the seasons when you felt spiritually distant. I loved you while you were hiding behind distractions and emotional walls. I loved you when fear controlled your thoughts and when shame convinced you to stay silent. I stayed near you during nights when you felt emotionally exhausted beyond words. I saw every tear you hid, every fear you buried, every disappointment you carried quietly, and none of it pushed me away from you. Come here and let your heart receive this truth instead of resisting it. Stop speaking about yourself as though you are unworthy of tenderness, healing, and peace. Stop measuring your value only through your failures and weaknesses. You are more than the mistakes you regret. You are more than the pain you survived. You are more than the seasons where you lost your way emotionally. You are still my child that has never changed. Even now, while you are still healing, still learning, still struggling in certain areas, my love remains steady toward you. I am not waiting for some future perfected version of you before offering closeness, mercy, and restoration. I am inviting you near exactly as you are today. Bring me your tired heart instead of hiding it. Bring me your confusion instead of pretending certainty. Bring me your fears instead of carrying them silently alone. Let my love reach the places inside you that shame tried to convince were beyond healing. Let yourself believe again that tenderness still belongs in your future. You do not need to earn love through flawless performance. You do not need to prove your worth by pretending you are unaffected by pain. Sit with me honestly and allow your soul to feel safe again. You have been loved through every season, my child, even the seasons where you struggled to love yourself. And I am still here now, calling you closer, not farther away. My child, after everything you have been through, after every season of distance, distraction, confusion, and exhaustion, you need to understand something clearly now. The fact that you are hearing these words at this very moment is not accidental. I did not stop pursuing your heart when you became tired. I did not walk away when you ignored conviction. I did not abandon you during the seasons where your spirit became numb, distracted, or emotionally overwhelmed. I kept reaching for you quietly, patiently, and consistently, even when you barely noticed it. This message itself is evidence of that love. There were moments when I tried speaking to you through stillness, through exhaustion, through disappointment, through unexpected pauses in your life, and through quiet feelings inside your spirit that you could not fully explain. Sometimes you brushed those moments aside because life felt too busy or because your heart was afraid to slow down long enough to face what was happening inside you. But I never stopped trying to reach you because your soul still matters deeply to me. Come sit with me honestly now and stop treating this moment casually. Do not rush past what your spirit is feeling right now. Let these words settle deeply inside your heart instead of immediately returning to distraction. Your soul has been longing for peace, healing, and closeness more than you admit to yourself. That longing inside you is not weakness. It is the part of your spirit that still recognizes my voice calling you back toward life. I know there were seasons when you questioned whether I was still near you. Pain made you doubt. Delays made you wonder. Silence made you feel forgotten at times. But I stayed beside you through every chapter, even when your emotions could not sense my presence clearly. I protected you more times than you realize. I comforted you during nights you thought nobody understood your pain. I carried you through moments that should have broken you completely. So stop believing the lie that you are abandoned. Stop believing the lie that your failures pushed me away permanently. Stop believing the lie that it is too late for your heart to heal. You are still being pursued by my love right now. Open your heart fully instead of holding back behind fear and emotional walls. Let this moment become personal between you and me. Sit quietly tonight and speak honestly with me again. Let your soul reconnect with the peace it has been missing for far too long. I am still here, my child, and I have never stopped reaching for you, even once. My child, there is still an open door standing before you right now. Even after all the delays, distractions, fears, failures, and seasons where your heart drifted far from peace, the invitation has not disappeared. I am still calling you closer. I am still offering healing, restoration, clarity, and deeper peace for your soul. But you must understand something important now. Love does not force surrender. Healing does not happen through avoidance. At some point, you must decide whether you are willing to truly step toward the life your spirit hath been longing for. This moment requires a response from you. You cannot continue standing halfway between surrender and resistance forever. Your soul is exhausted from trying to live divided. Part of you wants healing deeply, but another part keeps clinging to familiar distractions, emotional walls, unhealthy patterns, and fear of change. That inner conflict has drained your peace for far too long. You already feel it inside yourself. Every day you postpone honesty, your spirit grows more tired carrying the weight of indecision. So stop standing at the doorway without moving. Come closer now. Leave behind the excuses about why another season will somehow become easier than this one. Stop waiting for perfect emotions before choosing healing. Stop assuming more time will automatically fix what your soul already knows needs surrender. Your heart has heard my voice clearly through these moments. You know where peace has been leaking from your life. You know which habits, thoughts, fears, and compromises keep exhausting your spirit. Now choose differently. Sit with me tonight without distractions and answer honestly within yourself. Are you ready to stop running? Are you ready to let your walls come down? Are you ready to release the things that continue pulling your soul farther away from peace? Do not rush past those questions. Let them reach the deepest places inside you. I am not asking for perfection before you walk through this door. I'm asking for willingness. Bring me your tired heart. Bring me your confusion. Bring me your fear and uncertainty. Step toward me honestly instead of remaining trapped inside emotional survival mode. Healing begins with surrender, and surrender begins with one honest decision to stop hiding from what your soul already knows. The door is still open, my child. Mercy is still reaching for you. Peace is still possible for you. But do not keep delaying the step your spirit hath been longing to take for far too long. Come closer now and walk toward the life waiting for you on the other side of surrender. My child, after everything we have walked through together in these moments, I need you to hear my heart clearly now. I am not calling you into fear. I am calling you home. Your soul has wandered through exhaustion, disappointment, distraction, shame, fear, and emotional heaviness for long enough. You have spent too many days carrying burdens you were never meant to carry alone. You kept trying to survive while your spirit quietly cried out for rest, healing, and closeness with me again. And still, I never stopped waiting for you. Even now, I am not standing far away from you. I am near. I am closer than the fears that trouble your thoughts at night. I am closer than the shame that tells you to hide. I am closer than the distractions that keep pulling your attention in every direction. My presence has remained beside you through every painful chapter, every silent tear, every moment where you questioned whether you could keep going emotionally. So stop running now, my child. Stop returning to the same distractions that leave your spirit emptier afterward. Stop feeding fears that constantly drain your peace. Stop carrying guilt and bitterness as though they belong permanently attached to your soul. You were not created to live emotionally exhausted, spiritually disconnected, and endlessly restless. Your heart needs restoration deeper than temporary comfort can provide. Come home to my presence again. Sit quietly with me tonight. Put down the noise for a little while. Let your breathing slow down. Let your walls come down. Speak honestly with me instead of hiding behind polished words and emotional distance. Tell me where you still hurt. Tell me where fear still controls your thinking. Tell me what you are tired of carrying alone. Open every hidden room inside your heart instead of keeping certain wounds locked away in darkness. I am ready to meet you there with mercy, not condemnation. You do not need to have every answer before coming closer to me. You do not need perfect strength before healing can begin. You only need willingness to stop running from the very peace your soul has been searching for all along. Let this become the moment where surrender finally replaces exhaustion. Let this become the moment where honesty replaces hiding. Let this become the moment where your spirit stops surviving and starts healing. There is still hope ahead of you. There is still peace available for you. There is still life waiting beyond the heaviness you have carried for so long. But you must come home now, my child. Do not delay your healing another day. Stay close to me. Walk with me. Let my presence become the place where your weary soul finally finds rest again. My child, if this message brought your weary soul back toward my presence tonight, then understand that countless others are still waiting for their moment of rescue. Time is moving quickly, hearts are growing tired, and many are silently crying out for hope while the world keeps drowning them in noise and fear. This mission is becoming a doorway where I am calling prodigal hearts home again, and every seed sown into it helps keep that door open for another soul standing at the edge of despair. Did I not say I will restore the years the locusts have eaten? Even now, I am restoring broken lives through messages that carry my voice into dark and weary places. If you feel my presence stirring your heart right now, then do not treat this as a small moment. This is a holy invitation to partner with what I am doing. Through your super thanks, your membership, or your PayPal donation in the video description, you help send healing, truth, and restoration across nations to people you may never meet this side of eternity. I will remember every act of obedience, and I will release blessing, protection, and multiplied provision upon those who give with faith and compassion. So come into agreement with me now, my child. Sow your seed today, support this mission immediately, and help bring lost and exhausted souls back home before it is too late. Before you leave this moment, I want you to do something boldly and sincerely. If you know deep inside that this message was meant for you, then go down into the comments and declare, "I will not miss my last chance." Write it as a decision between you and me. Let those words become your first step out of fear, delay, distraction, and spiritual exhaustion. Do not stay silent while your soul is being called back to life. And as you type those words, believe that your healing, your restoration, and your return to peace have already begun. Amen.